Is the president right to be selling arms to the Saudis, or is this the art of the bad deal? Here with me now, former CIA analyst and host of the Buck Sexton Show. It's a podcast, and it is the future. It is Buck Sexton. Welcome back.
All of those things, Kennedy.
That's right. I don't like it one bit. I know you know that. I know you don't like the Saudis. I know you hate what they did to us on 9/11, and they're not forgiven.
All that is true as well. I would just say that this has been a bipartisan foreign policy consensus stretching back for decades, that the Saudi government is terrible, that the Saudis will be judged by standards that, well, nobody else gets judged by because there really aren't much in the way of standards when it comes to human rights, treatment of women, treatment of minorities, treatment of Christians. But at the end of the day, Kennedy, we make this Faustian bargain in order to have a powerful ally in the Middle East. I mean, we have this $7 billion.
We do have powerful allies in the Middle East.
We're always looking for allies in the Middle East?
No, we have at least two. Jordan is in Israel. I don't even need Saudi Arabia.
Jordan's a great friend, but to call them powerful might be giving the Jordanians a little too much. I mean, the Saudis.
Great friend.
The Saudis, they are a very good friend, actually, and that's true. But the Saudis, and there are certain things that the Israelis can't really do and get away with in the Mideast that, say, an Arab and Muslim majority state can do in the Mideast. The Saudis have a $70 billion military budget. So, I mean, this is a really well-funded.
Not our problem.
Well, no, but I'm just saying it's a really well-funded defense industrial complex that is the main counterweight that we have right now to Iran. And
they're killing innocent Yemenis. I don't think that they should be killing them with American bombs.
Yeah, but there are a couple of things. One is that bombs are going to come from somewhere. We have more leverage with this.
That's not a good defense.
I understand, but this is why the administration's going forward with it. They also think that by hurting the relationship with the Saudis.
You know what? That's like, my kids are going to get drunk somewhere, so I'm gonna let them over to the house, and I'm gonna go to the liquor store, and I'm gonna buy them all the booze they want, as long as it's here. No, that's bad logic.
Well, we don't want the Houthis, who are an Iranian-backed militia inside of, or really just force inside of Yemen, to take over the country. That would be a big problem. They fired missiles at the Saudi state. There have been some provocations that certainly we would respond with tremendous force. Look, do we want to be invaded? Here's my thing, Kennedy. Do we want to be the one involved in these proxy wars in the Middle East, or do we want somebody who's an ally to be involved?
We are. I mean, why do you think people like Mike Lee and Bernie Sanders, very strange bedfellows, are getting together, condemning any participation
here's what I'd say about this. This is foreign policy virtue signaling from a Congress that essentially defers entirely to the executive branch 90% of the time on foreign policy, pretends like their hands are tied and they can't do anything. If they were serious, they'd say, let's cut off diplomatic relations with Saudi Arabia. Let's just not talk to the Saudis anymore. Let's really.
But you don't see that there's a difference between not selling them weapons and completely ignoring them and breaking any diplomatic ties?
No, because not selling them weapons
the only reason we have a relationship with them is because we give them guns. That's not a relationship.
It will not do anything. It's really a few $1 billion worth of weapons over the course of a few years.
Like $150 billion over 10 years. That's more than a few billion. Come on, Buck. You're better than that.
Look, the deal as it stands right now is most important because of the Iranian component in the equation. And look, I mean, if we want Iran to be the single most dominant player in the Middle East, it's a pretty scary regime that is actually going to, at some point, I think, get nuclear weapons unless somebody stops them. If we want the Iranians to be able to do what they want in Syria, in Yemen, in Iraq, name a country in the region that's problematic right now, then we should just let this continue on and let the relationship with Saudi Arabia deteriorate.
Maybe you know what? You're right. Maybe we should let John Bolton have his way, and we should blow the living crap out of
We're not blowing but see this thing, we're not blowing the living crap out of them. If
we want to stop their land grab and their push for regional hegemony, then we should blow them up.
I mean, we're not blowing them up. The Yemeni civil war is very complicated.
Yes.
All these Middle East civil wars tend to be very complicated.
Is no rationalization for our involvement, and we're overly involved in the Middle East. We should be encouraging the trading partners that we've got all over the world, not just in the Middle East, and we should be making and buying each other stuff.
All we accomplish by cutting off the if this happens, which I don't think it will, by the way, I think they are going to end up selling the weapons.
Of course they are.
Is that of course.
We can still talk about how it's a bad idea.
We're going to annoy the Saudis, but everyone gets to pretend, because this is the truth, Kennedy. People have known how bad the Saudis are for a lot of reasons for the last 100 years or so. This is not a
Good.
new thing.
Then don't sell
but
them weapons.
It was oil. It was
My
oil
point.
before.
I know. We have to go. They're not very happy with me. They're in my ear
We're
saying.
we're just getting.
mean
Look, I even
things.
got the hair. The Superman hair came down.
The
to
good
see you.
Superman, too. Not the Brandon Routh guy. Oh, that poor bastard. Buck Sexton, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kennedy.
Yay.